Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Just Real Talk. I'm excited about today's episode because I'm joined by one of my closest friends, and we've been planning this for a while, and finally we are able to do this. So, hi Kiran, welcome to Just Real Talk.
So good to see you here.
I know. So, how do you feel that you are finally doing this?
I'm excited, honestly. I wanted to join you here since a long time, but I'm also super nervous because I haven't done it before, as you know. But I'm excited overall because I think a lot of the conversations, and we've been having a lot of real talk
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah,
So I'm finally
exactly.
excited. I would say I'm excited.
I know, we've been planning this for a while now. So let's get started. I kind of want to get deeper into the cultural side of roles that's put onto women and how that's shaped us through the years.
I am super ready.
Okay, awesome. So, growing up, what kind of roles did you see modeled at home? And when did you first start questioning them?
Growing up, I feel like I was in a very traditional family setup in terms of the roles, meaning my mom was a housewife in a South Asian or Indian household, and my dad was the one who was basically the provider. But actually, I grew up on a farm, so it kind of
Nice.
it kind of was like a little different for me because my mom also helped like cross-functionally like in the household and at the farm, but I could still see that there was a distinction of what she didn't do and what I would say more in terms of the mindset that they had. It was very traditional. And growing up, when as far as I remember, I started questioning them when my brother was treated a little bit differently. Like it wasn't discrimination based off gender, but like small things that he could do, and
He would be
they would,
favored more.
they would be actually be extra protective of me.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
they loved me the same. I realized that, and they did things like the same
It's just
way.
the way they show it is different.
It's the way that they are also, I think, overprotective towards I don't know
Women.
if it was a different country. Women, yeah, overprotective towards women. Like they'd be okay with him going out at a certain time, but they'd be extra protective towards me if I were to go out at a certain time or go out
Yeah.
with my friends. There would be a lot more questions, and I
You would
wasn't
need to
even
answer more.
Yes, and I wasn't even
Yeah.
allowed to go out, to be honest. So that made me really angry. And I feel like that's a point that I remember until now, that why did this happen? Why was this happening? And I started questioning a lot more.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's changed since you moved here. Yeah.
Yes.
So you could see the difference of,
I also feel like when I moved to Canada on my own, they were more like, they were trusting me more to make my life choices. And also, they trusted the system there that if anything happens, you can call 911. So I feel like because they told me that, and that made me also think that it wasn't discrimination as such, but they were just trying to be extra protective given I was a woman in a country like in India
Yeah.
where you have
Yeah.
to be extra cautious or safe, I feel like.
Yeah. And now you're in the US, so you moved from India to Canada to US, so you're also a Canadian citizen. It's like you've come a long way.
It's been a journey, honestly. It's
Yeah, I mean I'm proud of you. It's been such a long time, and you've done that on your own, and I think that is a great thing for a woman like who came here. You came here by yourself, and you achieved this by yourself. So kudos to you.
And kudos to you, because you did it too.
Yeah.
Like,
I know we both did it. Yeah, so
we
absolutely,
dream
yeah.
and just built everything.
It is the immigration journey. I feel when we do it the right way. On to the next.
Okay.
So why do you think it surprises people, like when a man cooks or changes a diaper, but like women are expected to do it without any kind of applause?
My God, I experience it so often because the other day I was talking to my mom. My parents, they still live in India, and I was talking to her and telling how, some of my people in my partner's family, the husband was changing diapers. So my mom gets surprised. She is like, really? That happens? So that is like mind blowing to me because I'm like, they still feel it's something that you should be grateful.
That's shocking to them.
shocking to them. Yeah. And they feel like you should be, wow, the girl is so lucky that
Yeah.
your husband helps you out. Oh, he was doing the dishes. Those conversations. And my first reaction is I get a little pissed off, but then I'm like, I come back to it
It's the
and
generational gap, the societal, the cultural gap.
yes.
Um, and I feel
Yes.
like I'm so glad that you said that. That shows change in today's society. That even men are picking up the pace.
They are, especially in brown households and South Asian households, because they used to have distinctive
Yeah.
roles. Like, the female was supposed to do all this. Like our parents, my parents at least, they still get shocked. And now they're getting kind of more used to it, the
Yeah.
idea that this is the norm. But it makes me laugh sometimes. I'm like, oh,
I am proud there's a lot of changes happening in the society now.
I was saying that's a good point because it's funny because I saw some influencers page here in the US and they were really promoting that women should be having roles with like taking care of the children, being at home, cooking, doing all that. And I love a man who's a provider. So I don't know. There are people who still want that, but I'm like, it's not just like you mentioned. It's not just
Yeah.
South Asian culture. It's kind
Yeah.
of all over the world that these roles were like set up in the past.
Yeah. I guess it's all a level of patriarchy that we are still working with, and I think, but like we said, it's changing. The world is progressing. How do you usually respond in those moments? Like laugh it off, or do you like call it out, or do you use humor to kind of make a point?
I'm laughing when you ask me that because I was just thinking about all the interactions I've had with my parents over the past couple of years. And initially when I was like I had moved to Canada newly and I was like finding this identity and being more sure of myself or who I was and trying to teach them some of these things or
Yeah.
making them more aware. I used to be very angry. I used to get angry whenever they would like not understand that this is happening in the world, right?
Yeah.
I feel over the years, it's also because of my partner, like he deals with things in a more humorous way. So I've started doing that and that's helped me. Like I don't get angry. I'm like always questioning them that, if this happens, then if somebody doesn't do that, if the woman doesn't cook, what happens then? What happens? Like, that kind of makes them think about it a little bit than me trying to, be angry at them. So I feel
That's a good way of thinking because I feel like after a certain point, it's just like I said, it's a cultural generational gap. Not a lot can be changed. All we can do is like educate them in whatever way we can, and that's a completely different side or life. I feel like we can't go back there, but what we could do is like try to bring them to the middle or meet them in the middle.
Right. And also I'm okay like if they don't understand certain aspects of this, as long
Accepting.
as long as they accept us, like you mentioned. I think acceptance is like the biggest part because that would make me feel that they love me enough to change their age-old patterns or ideas and that
To a certain degree.
to a certain degree. Yeah, I know that I don't want to change their personalities, but I would definitely like them to be more accepting of who I am or who
Like
my
me
friends
in the
are
middle.
or
Yeah.
the society, right?
Yeah. Do you think our generation is like truly rewiring gender roles or just reshaping them under new language? What do you think?
I feel like it's like a mix of both because some of the people, depending on where they come from, where they are right now, they're totally rewriting those roles. And I also feel for other people, it's still a work in progress. And that's kind of on the brink of reshaping those roles because I feel like I know households or my friends' families where they don't understand the new norms or like, that things
Or
are
they're
changing.
there. The capacity hasn't like they haven't reached that capacity yet. Or
Yes, exactly. So I feel like these people, for example, one of my friends, they might be reshaping or molding those roles a little bit in their household, but when they visit their families, they're still going to be the same. So I feel it's a tricky territory. That's what I feel. But I
no, that's
feel
very
like
valid.
and what do you think though? Coming back to you.
I mean, I can only talk from my perspective. I the way I deal with things like that is having boundaries, especially with family, because that's one area or that's one territory that's very delicate. Because I feel like the way I see it, like friendships sometimes can be replaced with or without us wanting to, you know?
Mhm.
But family, I feel like they are lifelong.
Yes.
It's almost like I don't want to say I'm stuck with them, no. But
You can't choose who your family is.
you can't choose that. You can't make that choice. And fortunately, I've carved a way that I know what's my exit strategy if someone's like making me uncomfortable or if a conversation I don't want to be part of. I just make sure like I have boundaries to exit and enter. That's how I think I reshape that, module, like you said, right? I do speak up when it comes to certain things. And the other time, I just feel like I'm not even going to involve myself in certain conversations because like we discussed earlier, certain people they haven't reached that capacity or threshold. And other times it's very easy to have certain conversations, but these kind of conversations or changes can only happen if we consistently bring that to the table. If we can't completely ignore that either. If you want change to happen, we have to somehow keep bringing up that topic to a point that they understand that you really tolerate to this degree. So that's how I make change in my surroundings with friends or family. I make sure that I consistently voice my opinion and have like boundaries around certain conversations. And yeah, that's how I deal with it. And I don't know if that's reshaping or rewiring.
It's a very good point because I feel like in the past, when I did not speak up, I had opinions about everything. Honestly, I've always been very opinionated.
Like you should.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I used to get into a lot of altercations or arguments.
Like
with
trouble.
Yeah. And then I realized
Protect your peace.
Exactly. And like you mentioned, it's like if they haven't evolved to a point where they wouldn't be coming to our level to understand that, or you feel like they just cannot understand, I don't put myself in those situations anymore where I'm arguing with somebody who is not gonna understand it, right?
Yeah.
But I still do have my stance over things. And I also have my boundaries now, which I feel like in the past were little blurry.
A bit gray, yeah.
I value my peace over trying to explain somebody who I know would not understand.
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like now that we've, entered our 30s, our big 3-0, I think it's so much different than it used to be in 20s too.
Absolutely.
I think we just like us friends, most of the people I talk to, like they protect their peace too. Like we all have boundaries and we all have very similar conversations. So I feel like we all are kind of living the same life in different bodies.
Yes, and discovering this has been like life changing because I don't bother now explaining people who would not understand or getting into arguments with them because I'm so exhausted with my full-time work, as is everybody else.
Yeah. You don't have time for personal drama too.
Yeah, trying to grow, learn a skill, getting your hobbies done, going for a workout. Your life is busy. You don't have time for this.
Yeah.
We just do not.
Yeah. It's such a Scorpio thing to say. So back to our questions, like how do we have these conversations with compassion instead of judgment, especially towards our parents' generation? Because I feel like we are the ones who should be, like, to a certain point, as long as there's kindness involved, we might have experienced things a little bit differently than them. So there needs to be a certain level of compassion involved in the whole conversation that we have. What's your stance? Like how do we have these conversations without judgment?
That's again a really good question. So I feel like now I do ask them a lot of questions. In the past, I used to get like really angry and start saying my statements or how I feel. You're wrong. You're doing this. No, that is not how things are.
Yeah.
But I feel like I ask them a lot more questions now to understand kind of their side of things, why they believe in certain things, and how that happened. When was the first time somebody told them that this is the way it should be, which came from their parents, obviously, my mom's parents and my dad's parents, or they
Generational trauma.
Generational, exactly. And a lot of people in the society doing it. But then when you ask those questions, I feel like it really helps me understand their point of view. And then I tell them my point of view, and kind of, I feel like they understand me a lot better, or
That's good.
understand today's generation or the things that we have to struggle with a lot better when I try to explain things rather than being in that attacking mode that you are simply wrong. you know
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good way of seeing it. I think compassion ultimately, people listen.
more effort, but I think it's worth it, especially because I care for them and I would like them to understand things in order to accept them. Because, like, if
Yeah.
you understand a concept, you would never be open to, incorporating it or learning it or having it in your life. You'll always be opposed to that idea if you don't know the logic behind something.
It's also part of, I guess, back to the immigration stuff, right? Like, we are living a different life. Our parents are living a different life. It's almost like there's two worlds. And
Like,
especially, yeah, and
yeah.
especially when we are in two separate worlds, it's a good way that you explain things to them so they understand, like, this is your point of view and this is where you're coming from. And it's good that your parents listen and they are not like driven by ego or pride that they think that they know better. So it's good that you're able to have that rapport with your family.
I'm literally shocked at some points that they are willing to listen, because I never had this image of them. I always used to be like, why are they this way? They hear me out and try to understand these concepts or understand me, or the things going on around the world. So I think for me, in any relationship, that's really important. If somebody is trying
That's
to
true.
listen to you and trying to understand your point of view, instead of just like believing and being
Assuming.
stuck in something that they've held on for like 100 years and they're just stuck in that. Fine.
Yeah. Mindset. Yeah. I agree. I very much agree. That's progress, I guess. Did you ever feel angry about these, the old double standards we were talking about? And what helped you move from anger to understanding?
My first reaction when I was in my teens was always anger, because obviously I'm not an adult. My reactions would be different. So I
Yeah.
used to react really badly. I used to be an angry kid, trying to be rebellious and trying to do the things that would just piss them off.
Yeah.
And that was my way of making them realize that, you're doing this to me. I'm not happy with it. But I feel like once I moved out of the house and I started living on my own, I felt like I had more freedom to do things on my own. That kind of also changed me. I feel like kids have a reverse psychology sometimes, or at least I did. But over the years, when my life was like more put together, I was having a job, I was having my own apartment and stuff like that. I felt that changed me, and the anger, I let go of it because I had
Yeah.
more control
You
of
didn't
my.
feel confined anymore.
Exactly. And when I was still dependent on them, like their decision of not letting me go out or hang out with my friends or asking me questions would make me angry, because I didn't have a way out of that. But once I was on my own, I felt like freedom is so important. Once you
Yeah.
feel like, you have your life under
Put
your
together.
control
Yeah.
or put together, you kind of let go of that anger.
All that inner child, need for that, that freedom, that whatever the inner child needs, you've achieved it
Yes.
right now yourself.
Yeah. And that's like so calming. It's literally, I feel peaceful.
Liberating, yeah. Okay. How do you stop yourself from carrying that frustration into your relationships today, be it friendships, romantic relationships, any kind of relationships? When you have a past or history of a certain treatment, or when you have that double stand, what that looks like, when you know what patriarchy, misogyny looks like, in the back of your head, you will have a certain notion of what am I getting myself into, like even with anything new. So how do you stop yourself from carrying that frustration or that thought process?
I love that question, because I still to the day, I feel like I have to consciously catch myself in those thoughts, or when I
While
subconsciously.
having conversations?
Yeah, by having conversations and even understanding my partner. For example, if he's doing something which in the past I have always looked at or perceived as being patriarchal or being, limiting, or, this is how women have always been treated, or why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I go into that mode where I'm so resistant to anything. And I constantly have to remind myself or have those conversations with him, at least, that you did this, why was it? Or if you didn't do this, were you expecting expecting me to do or take care of these chores? And then his answer, because he is not like a person who would be defined by roles, and he is not like that. But me,
Yeah.
I've always been insecure and
Yeah.
fighting for, to break
Mm-hmm.
this generational thing
Yeah.
of gender roles. I subconsciously do it again, and I'm like pissed off. But then I think having conversations and also catching your thought patterns whenever you realize you're being biased just because in the past you have experienced this.
Yeah.
I feel like reflecting on your thoughts is very important, and then catching those thoughts and just stopping. Oh, Kiran, stop.
That is very
He's
good.
not doing
Yeah.
it intentionally. He doesn't believe in patriarchy, and he doesn't believe in gender defined roles. Like, you need to stop. And I feel like that really helps. At least it helps me.
That's good though, because even while listening to you talk about this, I can understand that how deeply engraved and probably like damaging it probably was at a very young age. And you're constantly putting in that work on yourself that, being in therapy or like doing to yoga or like, you have your ways of like dealing with it, but you've consistently like done things for yourself to make sure like you catch yourself when you're you're falling back into that pattern, which is great.
Yeah, it can be like self-damaging when you unnecessarily do that, because I know nobody controls my life anymore.
Yeah,
I'm on my own. I have the freedom to do things my
whatever
way.
you want. Yeah.
Exactly. And I know some of the relatives or some of the people who are still living in India might experience that. And that makes me so angry. And then I kind of relate it to my life that maybe the same thing is happening to me, whereas it's not happening. It's just so hard to break that mental cycle, honestly. Once you experience that, it's kind of ingrained. And I feel like breaking away from it is such a long journey and such a work, because
It's a work in progress. I think
it's a
it's
work in
constantly
progress.
evolving, just like, healing is, any kind of healing is. I think you will catch yourself over the years, like stopping, and I guess that's boundaries with yourself too. That's great,
Right.
actually.
That's a great
Yeah.
way to put it. Boundaries within ourselves. Oh, Kiran, you're crossing boundaries. Stop.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I just thought of it now. Now let's move on to some spiritual side of things. Do you think this cultural change is also a spiritual one? Like a rebalancing of the, divine masculine and feminine? Because human beings have both a masculine and a feminine side. So what do you think, this cultural change? Do you think it's like a rebalancing of it?
I definitely feel so. I also feel it is like a cultural shift and a change where we are trying to redefine roles. I feel like the masculine and feminine energies are kind of related to the roles we traditionally had, but I feel like they're being more fluid now, in the sense that it doesn't matter. My partner, who identifies as a straight male, he has some sides that as somebody might consider as more feminine. Like, he is more touchy feely and stuff like that,
Emotional.
more emotional too. I feel I'm actually more emotional, but he's more like in a
For a
traditional
guy, she exudes
Short-
more emotional. Yeah.
over the top a lot of the times, whereas I want that distance some of the times. So I feel like, but we are very fluid. I've never like questioned that, or and he's the same way. I have always been a tomboy all my life, and he kind of likes it, but I feel like
Yeah.
there are still guys
Who want their women to be extremely feminine and like
extremely feminine.
following the patriarchal like
Yes. And I have heard that, and I feel like it's not possible, because you are literally trying to tell this person to change. And the way I talk is more, I would consider it more aggressive, and my partner is totally opposite. He's more calm.
he exudes more feminine energy. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also feel it doesn't take away from the masculine side that he
Yeah,
has.
of course. All these are just definitions, right? I think
Definition.
the way patriarchy, the way society has depicted or portrayed men to be, or the masculine side to be, it's as if like they have to be the one taking care of everybody, they have to be the strong one, and women should be relying on men and stuff like that. I feel like our newer generation is changing that, where like men can cry too, men can show emotions too,
Absolutely.
men can actually wear whatever they want, men can wear pink too.
I feel like it doesn't have to be defined by the energies, or the masculine or the feminine side do not have to be like really defined, because they're so fluid. I emit so much aggressive energy, if you may call it. And on the other side, I'm also very nurturing. So I feel like it should be how you feel, whatever you feel, like you should be able to express
Yeah, I mean,
it.
and it's also like I said, right? These gendered roles of like women are the only ones who are supposed to be nurturers and men's the one who are supposed to be the providers and stuff like that. I think these are very much written like centuries before by some men. So I feel like men are also catching a break where, they are being accepted by their female partners or like, male and male partners too, where there's no particular identity that you're supposed to be this person in this relationship. There's an equal back and forth, there's an equal give and take energy. And I feel that is what the masculine and a feminine energy is. A female person can exude more masculine traits and a man can exude more feminine energy. It has nothing to do with gender.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's how it should be, I feel, because I feel like you'll start to see different sides of people. You'll start to see new versions of people that you haven't seen in the past.
Yeah. I also want to add that we as human beings need different kind of attention or care from people around us at different times. Sometimes I want him to be nurturing, and I mean, if he's a man, he cannot be nurturing. That's like a wrong concept, I feel like. Because
Yeah.
if I'm looking for somebody who's going to be more caring, should I just go to my mom or my female friends? I feel like
Yeah.
modernization.
I mean, for some people, unfortunately, it's like not everybody has that kind of an outlet. So sometimes, yeah, people do rely on friends, people do rely on family, and you can't find one thing within one person.
In one person, everything
That's
in one
why,
person.
that's something I learned too. Like, you need
Oh
your
my God.
friends, you need your
Yes.
family,
Yes.
also you need your partner for, certain things. So it's a balance.
Absolutely. And because it's also unfair, one person to have everything, it's just not possible. And I cannot
Yeah.
imagine my life without my friends, without my family, and like, all the loved ones. It just doesn't have to be that one person you're expecting everything.
Responsible for your happiness,
Responsible for
no.
fulfilling all your emotional needs.
Number one person responsible for your happiness is yourself. So on to the next. How do you personally nurture both energies within yourself? The doer and the feeler, the giver and the receiver.
So I feel like the best thing to do is just to be yourself, and I try to be myself as much as possible. But I do want to redirect this question back to you, asking, what do you do?
Oh yeah, that's smart. You're like tackling that question. I think, yeah, I'll piggyback on what you said, where, ultimately you have to come from a place of wholeness within yourself, and you should only be doing things that you're comfortable with. Saying yes to the things that you want to say yes to. If not, you'll regret it later. So I feel like everything is a balance. For example, like if my friends ask me out for dinner or something, I might be very tired, but then I tell like, oh, I promised them and I haven't hung out with them for a long time, so I should say yes. And I go, and out of the blue, I might have a good time. And I'm like, oh, like, it's like the butterfly effect, right? Like,
Yes.
that, what if I said no and I missed out on a wonderful opportunity? So it's the same stuff like that. It's all a balance. Like, say yes when you want to say yes, say no when you want to say no. So that's how I balance like being the doer, feeler, the giver, and the receiver.
That's true. And I feel like most of the times, I mean, all of the times, I just try to be myself. And I kind of know myself to a certain degree now, where I feel comfortable within myself and taking those decisions. And, I know if I'm really not feeling well, I won't have a good time going outside, then I would just say no, like, because that's how I feel.
Yeah.
But it's also sometimes challenging because sometimes I might get
There's a role.
there's a role. Yeah.
Expected-
Expectations, especially within families and families within traditional setups. But I feel like I still like hold on to my boundaries of saying no and, prioritizing myself. Basically, if I do not feel like I should be doing it, I would not be doing it, no matter how much pressure I'm getting from somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. And then just feelings are important, and keeping your feelings and your emotions in check, working on yourself continuously. I feel if you're better in touch within yourself, you'll be able to handle this much better, like being the feeler, the doer, the giver.
Yeah. You'll
I
be
think-
able to make good choices, conscious
Make good
decisions for
choice.
yourself. That's good. That's yeah, I guess we both kind of said the same thing in different ways. So do you think true healing or of gender imbalances, it begins inside each of us rather than outside in the society.
Absolutely. I do feel it begins within ourselves because I feel the first step would be to realize what really impacted you, how it impacted you, even if it was childhood trauma, generational trauma, trauma of carrying like a certain culture or expectations within
Yeah.
yourself. So you have to kind of figure yourself out first that am I this person? Because for a long, long time, I did struggle with the identity that this is what is expected from me, from my family, but I just do not feel I'm this person. So I feel like realizing that comes from within you and then kind of figuring out what your journey is going to be. Like being yourself is very important. And I feel like in certain societies, some of the things are still not acceptable, but people are changing these things in their household. So, and the change really, I feel like begins within yourself and then you feel, but I'd love to know what you feel about that.
I always feel like within my family, I'm the first person to take a stance on something. I feel that, I'm the first person to actually call somebody out or walk out of a situation that I'm not comfortable in. So I feel like I set that trend for the rest of them to follow. I've been doing that over the past little bit, and I've been feeling so good, and I've been seeing the change because they want me there. It's basically just me setting my boundaries. Like I don't accept a certain kind of behavior, a certain kind of treatment from anybody, be it friends or family or any relationships or stuff like that. So society comes after, it follows us. We set the example and it follows us afterwards, because once we start being a certain kind of way, our energy shifts, it aligns, and then the right kind of people would gravitate towards you.
Oh my God. The thing where you said it's the society follows you and that comes later on. I truly, truly believe that. There's so many people who literally told me that, you think a certain way, but the society does not function that way. It's not going to change just because you think a certain way. Society is going to remain, people are going to remain the way they are, the way they were raised. But I'm like, I refuse to believe in these things.
Yeah,
And I
no.
truly feel if I hold a certain set of like
Standards for your
standards or values for myself, I'm gonna stand by them. And
kind of people will gravitate towards you, and that's what
Towards
matters.
you.
And the people who
Yes.
care for you, yeah, definitely would make some changes, or
Right.
you'll do, because you'll do the same for them.
Exactly. And I feel like a lot of revolutions happened that way because one person believed in something and they took their stance and then they refused to, compromise.
Back out of it, yeah.
Back out of it. And that's how a lot of the things like women's movements or the right to vote or to begin with, or today, for example, Me Too and all the great movements
Yeah.
took place because people were unafraid and
People were not taking, yeah.
they took a stand for it. So I feel like you have the power to change. I truly believe that.
Yeah, and if there are people who want to stay behind, they can always stay behind. Like we're not asking them to join us. You can stay
Join
where
us.
you are.
Oh my God. I used to expect people to join me, but then I feel like people have their own things that they're dealing with. So I mean, I should be the one being able to carry that baton and not expect others to follow me.
Yeah,
which is totally
you can
okay.
still carry it by yourself.
Yeah.
So, what spiritual or inner practices have helped you unlearn those ingrained roles and expectations?
So I think that over the years, self-care and, focusing on myself has really helped me. For me, self-care is just even getting full 8 hours of sleep or realize
Yeah,
I'm really, really tired and giving myself that
that's
break.
your spiritual practice.
Yeah, but I would say yoga is really like a game
Mm.
changer for me. I did not believe in that a lot initially, but then I slowly incorporated into my routine and started, because I didn't like going to the gym and it's really helped me. So I would say self-care is number one. I love watching TV, watching stuff that makes me feel good, cheers me
Yeah.
up. And I feel
Yeah.
like going for a simple walk on a
Yes.
sunny day is
Yeah.
so refreshing.
Yeah.
I think these small things can
Yeah.
go a long way.
I agree. Yeah. For me, spiritual wise, I've been reading some like books from Carl Jung, and there's a lot of these books that talks about the unconscious mind, conscious mind, and sometimes I take the book down to the beach because I live next to a beach, and I just sit next to the water and just, it helps me clear my mind, and that's my spiritual practice. And I feel like I light candles a lot in my house, and it gives me a sense of peace, just stuff like that, and meditating. I think that would be my spiritual practice.
My
Yeah.
God. Yeah, I love that. I also recently started putting my phone away and like not checking
great.
my messages because it used to like trigger me or cause a lot of anxiety. And it really helps me calm down where I'm feeling more refreshed, energized because like, doom scrolling,
It can get to you.
it takes away all the like mental energy. So I feel
Mhm.
like it's helped me too lately.
That's good. That's actually a very good practice. Moving on, how do we celebrate the older generation when they try, even when they don't fully get it?
Think I tell them that
Mm.
I'm so proud of you. Oh my God. Like, I am so proud of you for like even listening to me or seeing things through my lens. And I feel like it's been a little easier for me because my parents have suddenly become open minded. So it's been a easier thing, but it's also very refreshing because I send them reels and they find things
Mm.
funny that they traditionally would think are disrespectful, like somebody talking back to their parents in a humorous way. I feel like celebrating them would be maybe trying to acknowledge these small efforts that they have
Yeah.
for us in order to understand us, in order to change for us. And I also like listen to them more now, meaning I try to hear them out, their stories, and ask
Yeah.
what their experiences were, and that makes them happy, I feel like. And it's a constant give and take in terms of that. When they share their stories, I feel like there was a time when I was not listening to them so much, but I do like to hear their stories
Yeah.
now. And just knowing their life journey is, I think they feel really proud and they feel like they can share their story with
Yeah,
some.
the things with you. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, honestly, like on seeing them as one of you to a certain point. I know it's like there's that generational gap, but still if they are trying, I think that should be applauded. So that's good. I like them you
Yeah.
sending meme stuff. That's really funny.
Yeah, and now my mom sends back memes to me, and it's like she literally finds them funny, and it's very cute at times because I'm like, oh my God, I saw this meme like 10 years ago, mom, and now suddenly using Instagram and sending me reels,
They're still catching up. I
catching
think
up.
humor is one of the best ways to,
Humor is one of the best ways, and this
diffuse any
word
kind of situation.
wonders.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. What's one small sign that tells you things are evolving for the better? Like, not just family wise, just around you.
I feel like you and I having this conversation would be like a sign, and like even like off camera when we talk.
Yeah.
When we talk like on a daily basis and we talk about these things, our experiences. And whenever I talk to my other female friends, I feel like everybody brings out some of the issues that they feel or some of the topics that they feel uh, have been bothering them. Or and I see my friends like making that change within themselves or if they're
Yeah.
married within their household. So I feel
Yeah.
like people being woke and aware is like a big sign that things
Yeah.
are changing. And I've also seen like parents and the older generation being more open to ideas, and that's a big sign for me that change is
That's a
true.
good thing because not a lot of parents are there yet. So for the
Yeah.
ones that's, getting there, that's a great way. That's a great path for the rest of them to follow.
A lot of my friends have kids now, and I'm sure they would be practicing a lot of things differently than how my parents used to. So I feel that's definitely going to bring that shift in the newer generation too, because what you see, it's a lot of that you become. I feel like
Yes. You get modeled into that.
you get modeled into that, and it's definitely challenging for females. I feel like I constantly tell my brother or any male person in my family that you would not know half of these things because you never had to face these.
Yeah. How do you picture the next generation growing up in this more fluid, awakened world?
You know what? I think about it so many times, but I don't have the answer honestly to it because I don't know. Because my parents do not understand a lot of things I tell them, but I don't know honestly. Is it gonna be? Do you think always going to be there, the generational differences. Even if the new generation comes and we feel we are giving them less childhood trauma or less, traumatic experiences growing up, and we will be more understanding. But what if they have some new problems that arise with I don't know, honestly.
I was gonna say the same thing. I mean, like, no one's gonna be perfect. I think expecting somebody to be perfect is a red flag on its own. I think just it's definitely gonna be different than our generation. I know that for a fact. But there's gonna be new things to worry about, you know. But I
Yeah,
feel
yeah, I
like
think so too.
yeah, but at the end of the day, it all depends upon are you happy with the way that you brought them up, and you know that's the thing. And as a child, you would ask yourself when you get to a point that are you happy with the person you become looking back.
I agree. And I feel like that journey of finding yourself and, finding who you are is always going to be there, no matter how easy your childhood was or
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. And even if we will be the generation who is super understanding, the future generation will still have things that they are going to figure out on their own pace, at their own pace,
Yeah.
sorry. And just like you, I think they'll learn from the experiences.
Yeah, I think it's the experiences. You're right. I think one last question would be if you could sum up this collective shift in one line, what would it be?
Just the relatability that this happened to me and this is how I deal with it. And I feel
Yeah.
like this awareness is like a game changer and it's like truly liberating, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel when you relate to somebody that, oh, this happened to me too. When I was growing up, my parents are the same way. They don't understand. I think that's such a good feeling that if you're talking to your friend,
Relatable, yeah.
you can understand. Yeah, the relatability is very important too.
I 100% agree on that part because I feel that's a different level of connection. You feel understood, you feel seen. Sometimes there might be people who might understand me better than my partner. So, like,
Yes.
that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad
Yes.
thing. It's sometimes that's why I feel like friendships are very important, especially if you went through the same thing. You can have certain conversation like way more openly and freely. Not that you can't have that with your partner. It's just that it's a
Uh-huh.
different level, you know, especially if it's like female friendships are very essential.
Yes.
You need that
Yes.
in your life. It makes you happy.
A straight male who my partner is would not be able to understand what I went through as a female child growing up in a brown South Asian household. It's just difficult. He can try to empathize with me, but I
Yeah.
would relate
I feel a
more.
lot of people, yeah, I feel a lot of people like say that. I feel like we're exposed to more things as women, very
Yeah,
young. So as a result, like that's why you and me, right? Like we can relate. You can say something, I'll be like, oh my God, tell me about it.
that's nurtured so many friendships. Just that connecting point and being like, oh, I have faced the same things. I experienced it too, and I feel like everybody has. All the females at some point in their lives have felt or experienced one or some of the things that we talked about.
Yeah. That's the beauty of, I guess, like friendships and coming from the same cultural background or even like going through the same rebellious phase and, you know, the patriarchy and all that. So, yeah, I think I had a wonderful time today, like, you know, having this conversation with you. And I really appreciate you coming into the podcast. And I hope I see you again. We can have you again in this podcast. So, thank you again, Kiran, for being part of it.
It's been a pleasure, truly, and I was so nervous coming here, but like now it felt like it's just you and I having our daily conversations. So
Yeah.
it's been really good, and I look forward to like being back. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think the viewers would enjoy this one as well. And thanks once again, guys, for tuning into Just Real Talk. This is Ron here and signing off today.